have breaking news tonight in North Little Rock. We have breaking news tonight in North Little Rock where the historic flooding of the Arkansas River has breached a levee tonight. The levee is in North Little Rock on Gribble Road. People in the area have been laying sandbags this week in hopes of keeping the water at bay, but the floodwaters are too powerful, too swift, too relentless, and now the National Weather Service says that levee will not hold. THV 11's Michael Aaron is on the scene tonight. Michael.
Craig, we are live here on Gribble Street near the Arkansas River, and we're joined by the North Little Rock Emergency Management Office Director, Leonard Montgomery. He's going to give us an update right now on this developing situation. So what can you tell us tonight?
Okay, we had a report of a levee breach at 3206 Gribble. Upon arrival, we checked out the situation. It turns out it's not actually breaching our levee. What it is, there's a tank farm here. The tank farm has a containment berm around the farm. What actually breached was their outer containment berm, which is on the river side of the levee. The river then equalized up to our levee. It has not actually breached our levee. So we're good as far as our levee. We have some oil sheen. We're booming it to keep the oil from getting out in the river. But as far as a levee breach, there is not a levee breach at this point.
Okay. Is there a threat at this point? I mean, or is there a higher threat in that area given what's taken place, or is everything still holding as it should right now?
Everything's holding. Like I said, their berm failed, which is designed to stop their product from getting out if the tanks were to leak. Our levee is still holding. Daylight, we're going to fly. The North Rock PD has drones. Daylight, we're going to fly a drone mission to check and see exactly what we're dealing with. Right now, we know there's about a 25-foot section of their berm that has failed. Our levee is still intact.
What would be your message to people who live in this neighborhood tonight who see this flash flood warning, are probably on edge and unsure what they should do?
Right. Well, what happened was when I got the warning, I came down to assess the situation. In the meantime, I went ahead and put out the flash flood warning as a precaution, just to be on the safe side. I can tell people right now there's not a danger at this point. They still need to be cautious because they're in an area that if the levee fails, it would cover their houses. But at this point, the levee has not failed. We don't see any likelihood it's going to fail anytime soon. We're going to assess it first thing in the morning. But right now, everything appears to be safe. It's still wise where they live to be cautious at all times because it is a situation that they're close to the levee.
So certainly some good news. I'm sure a lot of relief across central Arkansas and here in the city of North Little Rock tonight. We see the fire department and law enforcement on the scene. What is next for them in this situation?
Well, the fire department actually went out there and looked at the breach. What they're going to do is they're going to bring a boat in and put containment boom. The containment boom is strictly for stopping the oil product, which is on the ground, from getting out into the river. We're not going to try to stop the water flow. It's just too big right now. Their current mission is to stop the product as from getting out in the river. Law enforcement has already made notification door to door in the area. They're going to remain in the area to monitor the situation and notify in case the situation changes. But right now, there is no breach.
Okay. Mr. Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us live here on THV 11 tonight and updating folks on, again, what has been a very tense hour or so in the city of North Little Rock as people were afraid that this levee had, in fact, breached. Not the case, Craig. We'll stay out here and keep you updated if there are any updates throughout the rest of the night. We'll send it back to you, though.
So we've got good news. There was no breach, Michael. Thank you. You just heard it from Mr. Montgomery there. And the levee is holding. However, it was a berm failure around a chemical company. They're trying to keep those from going into the river, but the levee is still holding. However, there were all these alerts that went across central Arkansas. THV 11 obviously responding to them. So we're all kind of on edge right now as this flood story continues to grow and to progress down the Arkansas River. With that in mind, keep it on THV 11. Obviously, we're on top of it, even when we breathe a sigh of relief that the levee is holding in North Little Rock. We now return to regular programming.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching THV 11 News at noon. I'm Amanda Yeager. Today, teachers with the Little Rock School District are taking to the streets in support of returning local control to the LRSD. Michael Aaron and Willie Hoyt are outside the LREA headquarters right now with more information. But first, we go to THV 11's Ashley Godwin, who's walking with protesters from the State Board of Education building to the Capitol. Now, Ashley, you have been on the front lines with these teachers all morning. What's it like out there?
There are hundreds of people right now walking from the State Board of Education meeting to the Capitol steps, and as you can see, tons of signs. It's just a crowd of people walking. And yes, I have been here all morning. I've been to schools, I've been all over Little Rock just trying to get a feel, and everyone just wants, well, at least for this protest, everyone wants local control back. They don't want the State Board to have control for the Little Rock School District anymore, so they're continuing their protests right now at the state Capitol steps, where they will hear from speakers from the LREA president, from the AA president, and from State Senator Joyce Meyer. So everyone's gathering now, they're getting in place, they're getting ready, and I don't know if you can hear, but there's music, there was chanting, people are really fired up about this, and they are getting ready to hear from these speakers again, and we will keep you updated as more things go on today. This is going to last all day. In Little Rock, I'm Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Now, hundreds participated in the picket line outside Central High School this morning. That was before moving to the Department of Education. Michael Aaron is there now, live. And Michael, those picketers hope to send a strong message to the State Board.
Yeah, they do, Amanda, and those picketers, they were right here before they went up the way to the state capitol. The strike comes 2 weeks after the State Board of Education stripped the Little Rock Teachers Union of its bargaining power. One teacher that I spoke with this morning said that was the final straw. Here's some of the sights and sounds from Central High School earlier this morning.
We want to make sure that they see that we are standing here in solidarity today, putting our professional careers at risk, putting a day's worth of pay aside to let the world know, to let those people who are trying to destroy us know that not on our watch. We're not going to allow that to happen to our schools.
It makes me really happy that everyone's here and come together as a family to say, hey, we want our teachers to be treated better. We want our teachers to have basic rights.
What do we want?
One district.
When do we want it?
Now.
For the past year, we've made it our mission here at THV 11 to save a generation, educating you about the opioid epidemic and working to end the stigma of addiction. We vowed to continue the conversation and bring to light all the efforts to create change. Tonight, we begin a 5-part series 6 months in the making. We follow 4 men who are battling drug addiction behind bars and one program that's changing their lives. This is Out for Life.
We have about 20,000 Arkansans imprisoned right now. And interestingly, there will be 10,000 released over the course of the coming year, and probably around 11,000 arrested and put back in prison. The cycle is just, it's unsustainable, and it's costing us a fortune.
It's so easy to go pick up prescription pills and just let it all fade away. But in the long run, this is what it ends up being, the razor wire on top of the fence.
Everybody's watching every little move you make. It's not something you want to do, I promise you that.
In Arkansas, the recidivism rate is hovering right now around 56%. So what that means is once you're incarcerated, you're more likely to go back to prison than you are to stay free. While there are many of those inmates who are in prison, I'm glad they're in prison, there are a whole lot more who are there as a result of the war on drugs and the issues of substance use in America.
Life at ACC, I mean, it's not peaches and cream, I promise you that. My name is Josh Walker. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Stuttgart, Arkansas. I'm a father of 2 beautiful little girls. I'm a farmer. My family owns a farm. My whole life I've been working and came back from college, and then that's when I got hurt and I got on the pill. When I realized that I was addicted was one morning I woke up, and as soon as my feet hit the floor, I snuck in the bathroom at my house and crushed two Roxy 30s down on the back of the toilet. So with my kids and my wife asleep in the next room just to get the day started. Next thing I know, I'm sneaking out at night after I put my girls to bed and drive all the way to Little Rock from Stuttgart, which is an hour drive, and then to get pills, and then drive back fast as I can in the middle of the night, know I gotta go to work the next morning, and try to sneak in bed with my wife without her knowing that I left at all.
1408, Sergeant McGraw.
We are coming to the barber shop. I feel like this is a big part of my journey here. Before I was incarcerated, I had grown my hair for 7 years, so I had hair that was about down to here. We have to get one when we come in and get one when we leave, so this is where the magic happens, I guess.
I called her phone, no answer.
Lots of questions that are still unanswered.
There's not a day go by that it's not weighing on me.
Hoping for that one big break that we need to, bring closure for the families.
She was my sister, I confided in her and everything.
36-year-old Shakita Burnett and 34-year-old Terkesa Wallace.
She was very funny, outgoing, popular, had a lot of friends.
Share a fate.
I was devastated.
A fate their family and friends still don't understand. Shakina's sister, Shanisa, and her father, Buford, speak of a well-rounded, talented sketch artist who adored her children and family.
She feared God, she believed in God.
Terkesa's cousin, Tracy Holmes, tells of a loyal, independent mother with a big personality.
She had this loud, obnoxious laugh that was infectious.
But in early January 2014, something happened. Something even police can't explain.
The North Little Rock Police Department received a call on January the 15th of 2014.
Detective Gary Jones was there when Burnett's mother called saying she had not heard from her daughter since January 9th. She was worried. Then, the very next day, another call. Miss Terkesa Wallace, missing since January 10th. She left her 5-year-old son with family and did not return. Police didn't connect the cases initially, but then they subpoenaed phone records. It turned out the women had been communicating just before they disappeared.
At that point, I started believing that they were together since they were both communicating with each other. They were also pinging off the same tower.
Calling, texting, and then suddenly, nothing.
What could have happened? Where were they going? What was going on that night?
Even the North Little Rock Police Chief, Mike Davis, was baffled.
We want to know. We want people know about this.
It's a case file, the only criminal case file that's been sitting on his desk for years.
Just think about the families that are out there, and they want closure.
But those families have anything but.
Still to this day, we just want to know.
For nearly 2 years, the case went cold. No sign of Shakina, no trace of Terkesa or her car, a white Toyota Corolla.
It took me years to stop chasing every white Toyota Corolla that I saw.
I don't think it really hit me until I threw her birthday party. Oh my God, this is it. It's real. She's gone. She's not coming back.
And then, confirmation of that. A fisherman on the Arkansas River in December of 2015 netted a human leg. A DNA match showed it belonged to Shekinah Burnett.
To lose a child in this way is, man, it's so heavy. And then you just feel so helpless.
I have her ashes in here. It's a necklace that I wear. The only option was to get her cremated.
So at that point, you have a homicide, at least one.
Right.
Do you think you probably have two?
You could assume that they're both dead.
But Tracy Holmes still needs proof.
Give me something to let me know if I can hold on to a little bit of hope.
For now, though, only questions and grief.
For a while, I felt like I was cemented to the ground in that particular day, in that moment.
It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it.
Two mothers, two friends, victims of an unsolved crime.
I want to arrest somebody.
There's going to be a day of judgment.
There's someone that out there that we believe that could come forward and provide us with some crucial information that can lead to what happened to these young ladies.
It's like I've been holding my breath this entire time. Let me breathe again.
Turquisa's car, that white Toyota Corolla, was never recovered. Tracy Holmes is now raising Turquisa's son. Shekinah Burnett's family believes someone out there knows something. They're just not coming forward. There is a $20,000 reward in this case, and you can't remain anonymous.
On the football field, James Clark is a star. But it's on this field where he really shines. This is where the 11-year-old's vision has turned into reality, a vision that started months ago on a bus ride home from school when he noticed something.
He see a lot of people out there with their kids, not fortunate to have food.
His idea to feed the needy started small, but it grew quickly.
His vision started out was to feed 50. Then he changed to 100.
But even that number wasn't big enough.
No, sir.
After word got out on social media.
It's big.
Total strangers stepped in, sending money, getting to work in their own kitchens, making about 300 lunches, and much more.
Are you shocked at how much stuff people brought in?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
With all the publicity, James became somewhat of a celebrity.
It's amazing when you go into the store at Walmart and people recognize who your child is. Oh, that's the kid off Facebook. Hi.
Social media is one thing, face-to-face is another. Taking time to connect to the less fortunate, to see those in need as people.
Mama.
And that earned James a new fan.
Her baby just waved at me.
And for this little girl and her family, something special.
Take it to her. Yeah.
Here comes a bag full of kids' clothes and shoes.
Ooh, that camel.
James knows about style.
Here you go.
Which explains his shirt.
CEO, and the back of it says 718.
It's his design.
I have my own t-shirt line.
As a 6th grader, James has already designed 7 different shirts.
I just want to rolly and make good grades.
All with one goal. Selling shirts helps him pay for his vision of feeding the people who need it.
Follow your dreams and follow your goals.
Dreams and goals that few 11-year-olds possess, because this remarkable person already understands. No matter how hard he hits here, his biggest impact will always be felt right here.
Say hey, give him kisses. Yay!
It is time to eat it up. Once again, we are in North Little Rock in the Park Hill area.
And we're at the North Bar. This place has become famous for having humongous sandwiches and burgers and so much more.
They're humongous and they're delicious.
So we hear. We got to go try it.
Let's eat it up.
I like the vibe. Very cool vibe in here.
Man, I am a big fan of the fried pickle burger.
Chicken gizzards.
Chicken gizzards.
They're as tender as butter.
The food's always been excellent here. They got a great burger. I'm fixing to chow down on one.
North Bar is it's a staple for Park Hill and the North Little Rock district. You know, like we're 100% about customer service, good food, local beer, local business, but we still appreciate the family aspect of it too. You know, your kids are welcome, come in and have a good time.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
We pile things high and we pile them big. It's like the more beef, the better, and the more chicken, the better. And then that's when we'll put beef and chicken and, you know, bologna and bacon. Even our burger that we don't feature that much, called the quadruple bypass. It's 5 beef patties, regular fries, sweet potato fries, onion rings, fried green tomato, fried pickles, 4 or 5 pieces of bacon, 3 different types of cheese. Stacked this time, they love it.
Well, they have a whole bunch of these handles there that they can pull and fill up glasses with.
Is it a good selection of beer here?
Yes, it is.
Donuts wrapped around a burger with bacon and eggs. Have you tried that? It's in there. You gonna try it?
I'm not sure how much time I've got left.
Well, you better go eat some then.
This place is famous for stacking the burgers high. We're going to see what goes into actually putting these things together.
Guys, this is the donut burger and the waffle slider.
This is a whole new spin on chicken and waffles, and I'm loving it.
This process, we need some bacon.
Do you want to lay the egg?
Lay the egg.
Go and lay the egg.
Here we go. Look at this.
There we go. They have homes that have less structural stability.
Donut burger. Okay, I guess we just need to like go in on this. Oh, Rob went in. He didn't even wait.
It's messy, but what a fun combination. All the flavors actually work together.
From the sweet to the spicy to the salty.
The
it's
jelly
just,
on there. I taste
yeah.
the jelly on this.
I mean, it's just so much in one bite. We're going in now with the Sugar Daddy. I think, Rob, the name's pretty explanatory. There's a lot of sugar on it.
Oh, that's what it is. What a combination.
I know.
It's so beautiful, but it tastes so good. And so it tasted great looking at it, and then you come eat it and it tastes better than they think it would.
It really does. Oh, so full.
But wait, there's still more.
What?
This week on Discover Arkansas,
we're at Fairfield Bay, and it's a special edition.
Come on over here. We have a partner in crime. This is Trenton. He's going to go everywhere with us. Are you ready to discover Fairfield Bay? Come on, let's go! Hey, you must be John.
I am. Glad to have y'all here.
Thanks for letting us come.
Nice to meet y'all.
This place is great. So what all do you have planned for us?
Well, we got a lot of stuff to do today, but before we start to go have some fun on the water, let's go up and discover some of the other fun we have on our 14,000-acre outdoor recreational paradise.
Ooh, that's a mouthful. Let's go do it. Come on.
All right, so I see the sign Cool Pool. What all is around here?
Well, the Cool Pool is one of the coolest places on top of the mountain of our resort. Let's go in and take a look at it.
Let's go! So what are we gonna do today?
All right, so today we are at Indian Hills Golf Resort, and we are gonna play foot golf on the front 9 of their course.
You didn't know I was a golf pro.
Oh, look at her!
Ah! Trenton, he's trying to beat us. He went and changed into his tennis shoes.
He's got his game shoes on. Be quiet on the green.
Oh! Mario won. Trent come in second. I lost my ball. It's time to move on. Let's go do something else. I'm as hungry as a fish, Mario.
Check out these stand-up paddle boards. You can go out with a life jacket, of course, and you can either stand up, you can use it like a kayak, or you can even kneel and paddle on it. A really cool way to see the lake. Are you gonna try it? Probably. All right, you got your life jacket on.
Are you gonna fall in the water?
Are you gonna fall? I hope not.
There you go, it's working.
Well, we've got all kinds of things. You want to play on the water, we have the ability to help you play on the water. What we're sitting on is the only pontoon paddle boat on the lake. It holds 4 people, as you can see, and you and I are smart enough to have them paddle.
John, what is that mountain over there?
That is Sugarloaf Island. It's the only island trail in the whole state of Arkansas. It's on the Historic Register of Trails.
I want to get closer to it.
Bye. No.
This was fun discovering Arkansas.
Dear younger me, I know being adolescent is tough, but you'll make it through. You're still best friends with Linda since you both met on the first day of 8th grade. Treasure her because you will get each other through the toughest times in life to come. You will get married and 9 months later give birth to the most beautiful, happy baby girl. You will find out what love truly is. Almost 3 years later, a just as beautiful baby boy will be born to you. Hang on through the colic, it's just temporary. You will love these children fiercely. You will be a single mom for quite a while, but that part all works out too. You will watch your daughter and son grow, and when you are happy and content with your life, it will shatter into a million pieces. Your amazingly sweet and happy 11-year-old daughter, Allison, will have an asthma attack in her sleep and never wake up. You will find her the next morning when you go in her room to tease her about sleeping late. The pain will be unbearable and unimaginable. A year later, your sister Debbie will go to heaven, but at least she isn't suffering anymore. Your new normal will be focusing on your son Daniel and loving and protecting him, watching him blossom as Spanish club president, drama club member, and in high school band. One Saturday night when Daniel's 18, he will go out with 2 of his best friends, and he will never come home. Instead, the state police will knock on your door to regret to inform you of the accident. You'll tell them they can't be right because they just don't know what you've been through. But they are right. For the rest of your life, you'll get a pang of pain and grief every time you see one of their police cars. Although you won't know how, you will go on living. The pain and grief will never go away. You will just learn to carry it differently. It will, however, rear its ugly head at random times and bring you to your knees. You have to face it and go through it. It's part of healing. 2 years later, you will meet the man you were meant to spend the rest of your life with. You will marry him and find such joy in sharing his children and grandchildren. You will know in your heart that you weren't done being a mom just yet. After some deep conversations, you both decide to open your home to foster kids. They need love and stability, and you can offer that. It leads to meeting an adorable but troubled 9-year-old little boy. He's been through more in his first 9 years of life than any child should ever go through. You know he's meant to be your son, and he will be forever. Over the next few years, more than a dozen awesome kids come through your home. They will teach you so much. One day, you'll see a picture of a precious sibling group of 2. You know from that photo alone that you are meant to be their parents. Within a year, the judge decrees that they are yours forever. Throughout this life, please remember that you are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. It's okay to get mad at God. He still loves you and will plant joy in your life again. Most of all, let go of the guilt. Allison and Daniel won't die because you failed them. In fact, you will want to face death yourself to keep them with you. But they will always be with you. In every breath, every joy, and in everything beautiful. With love, me.
Welcome to a special presentation of Hog Zone on THV 11. Today, we will hear from Sam Pittman for the first time. Last night, we asked you to weigh in on the Sam Pittman hire, and it was quickly clear that this was a decision that was not immediately embraced by the entire fan base. Now, given the struggles throughout recent seasons, it's reasonable to believe that any new coach would come with some amount of trepidation. But today, we meet Sam Pittman, not as the former offensive line coach under Brett Bielema, but as the 34th head coach at the University of Arkansas. As a coach, Pittman has spent nearly his entire career as an offensive line coach, with stints at some of the nation's top-tier programs, including Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, Arkansas, and most recently at Georgia. While on staff in Fayetteville, Pittman helped build the Razorbacks' offensive line into one of the best in the league. His first 2 offensive lines at Arkansas led the SEC in fewest sacks per game, and in 2014, his offensive line paved the way for 2 1,000-yard rushers in Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins. In his final season on the Hill, his offensive line contributed to an offense that finished 2nd in the SEC in total offense, 2nd in scoring, and 3rd in passing offense. His numbers at Georgia in recent years spoke for themselves. In 4 seasons in Athens, Pittman helped Georgia to 3 straight SEC East Division titles. This year, the rushing attack was led by DeAndre Swift, who finished 4th in the league in yards with 1,126, just ahead of Rakeem Boyd. In 2017, Georgia's offense was the best in the league and 9th nationally in rushing at just under 240 yards a game. And for those who have concerns about his ability as a recruiter, he was part of a staff that produced 4 top 10 recruiting classes, including the nation's best in 2018. And we still want to know about your opinion. Make sure to head on over to our website, thv11.com/vote, to weigh in on the Pittman hire. And as Hayden Balgavy joins us live now in Fayetteville ahead of Pittman's introductory press conference, it's not just the numbers and the statistics that made Sam Pittman the right hire for Arkansas. It was his connection to the Razorback program, his relationships that have endured with former players who advocated for him during the search and then came out in full support of him Sunday after Hunter Yurachek made the hire official. Hayden, Sam Pittman is an Arkansas guy, and now he's the head hog on the Hill.
Absolutely, Dorian, just right on cue. The voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, has hit the podium. I'm going to step out of the way and let you hear from Chuck Barrett as we get ready to meet Sam Pittman, the 34th head football coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Imagine being a teenager and being told you have cancer. It is a devastating diagnosis, but one Arkansas teen is not letting it bring her down. She discovered a hidden talent while in the hospital, giving light to a dark time in her life and inspiring others along the way.
There are 2 things you should know about 15-year-old Abigail Wells. She loves to run track.
I'm sort of competitive, a little bit.
And she is never without a smile.
It's just automatic.
But behind that contagious grin lies a lot of pain.
I wasn't expecting that I would be diagnosed with cancer.
At 14 years old, Abigail was told she had osteosarcoma, or bone cancer. It started with a mass on her leg and spread to her lungs. In July of this year, she had to have her lower leg amputated.
I'm still dealing with the news, to be honest, because like I said, everything was going so fast.
After the surgery, Abigail spent weeks in and out of the hospital getting chemo, keeping her away from friends, family, and school. But she discovered something special to help occupy her time and keep her hopeful.
Just initially from meeting her, we know it's going to be a different experience.
While in the hospital, Abigail started meeting with Andrew Graham, a board-certified music therapist at Arkansas Children's Hospital. She dove right in, learning how to play instruments and write music.
We started there just learning how to play ukulele together, and then she started showing me some of her poetry, and I remember talking to her, like, why don't we try writing a song?
With the help of Mr. Andrew, Abigail turned her words into lyrics, letting people in on what was really behind that beautiful smile.
Now that I have these unexpected changes, the person I was will never be the same. It helped me write down my feelings, all the stuff that's going through my head and racing and stuff. So that was a good, it was a good help.
It shows the side that people aren't always willing to go into. It really does show there are positive and negative emotions that go through us all the time, and she was willing to express the pain and the heartbreak that comes with a cancer diagnosis.
That person's now limited to picture frames, all because of these unexpected changes, unexpected changes.
Music becoming therapy during a difficult time, and a smile that shines on despite it all.
Trying to stay positive, trying to stay strong, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like I have to just let myself feel it. Unexpected change turned a has into a had, has into a had.
Laura Monteverde, THV 11 News.
Abigail actually recorded that song, Unexpected Chains. We've got it on THV 11 right now, and I'll tell you, grab some tissues before you listen to it. Abigail has 2 more weeks left of chemo, and she says, get this, when She gets her prosthesis. It is going to be amazing because she plans to hike Pinnacle Mountain with her friends and eat donuts at the top.
Every day, thousands of cars fly by on Highway 70 in Arkansas. But take a closer look next time, and it's safe to say you'll see a not-so-ordinary sight walking the shoulder.
It's not safe, it's a sure bet.
Since the end of June, 64-year-old Mike Vale has started most mornings with a walk along Highway 70.
Usually 4. Usually I take off a day.
And he's hard to miss, carrying a nearly 12-foot, 40-pound cross on his shoulders.
Sometimes you hear them run over the ratchets on the side of the road. Sometimes you hear them pull over the center line.
Just his cross and a bottle of water, walking however far his own 2 feet will take him.
You remember Forrest Gump when he was running? I think I'm tired now. And I turn around and go the other way.
And if you're wondering why, you're not alone.
Sometimes they stop on curiosity, sometimes they stop on a desire, sometimes you just want to know why.
So we asked him that very question.
I have a lot better relationship with Christ because he saved my life.
Last September, Vale underwent a quadruple bypass surgery after suffering a heart attack. The health scare changed his life and grew his faith in God.
I feel like that people have forgotten, in the rush, have forgotten what Jesus Christ does for them.
So for 4 to 5 hours a day, he walks as a reminder and lets God do the rest.
I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that thank me, that say, hey, I needed this, you're at the right place at the right time. It's made me a different person.
And whether it's just a double take,
yeah, see that? What?
Or a friendly honk.
I'm just walking. I can't help it, I wave.
Next time you drive down 70, you might just want to take a closer look.
If I get somebody going 70 miles an hour out here on the highway to slow up and say, that guy's out on the side of the road for Jesus Christ, I've accomplished my goal.
We've never seen this before. We've never had to deal with this before, so there are a lot of unknowns.
Floodwaters rising in Little Rock. I'm Michael Aaron with more on the impacts and preparations ahead of next week's projected river crest.
With water levels still rising on the Arkansas River, there are some concerns about the levee systems in the Dardanelle area. I'm Stephanie Esquivel, and tonight I'll tell you how the Arkansas National Guard is keeping their eye on that situation and how they're ready to respond.
I know it's been a huge impact on the city and this community, and to be able to give back and help, it's grateful.
The view of the Arkansas River from the sky shows the sheer magnitude of this flooding event. Governor Asa Hutchinson and other state lawmakers took to the air today with the National Guard to get a bird's eye view of these historic levels and watch them surpassed. We have team coverage tonight from our Stephanie Esquivel and Michael Aaron on both sides of the Arkansas River. And we begin with Stephanie live in North Little Rock.
Craig, I'm here at Riverfront Park in North Little Rock, where crews have had to put up these barriers for the first time in the park's history. City officials say they want people to stay out of this area due to safety concerns, and it's a similar situation upstream in Dardanelle. I was there earlier today, where city officials have also closed down the nearest park to the river. However, that park is completely submerged tonight. That's where the Arkansas National Guard is also set up and on standby to help with flooding preparations.
The water level is rising from day to day. It's been an obvious change.
With those floodwaters rising swiftly, Lieutenant Austin McGee with the Arkansas National Guard says there are multiple teams on standby along the river preparing for it to crest. One team even delivering sandbags by air.
Some of our Black Hawk units have been dealing with sandbags.
Lieutenant McGee says part of those flooding preparations also include making sure there's an evacuation plan in order.
We do drive around the community and making sure that there's no blocked roadways. So in order for being prepared, we'll have different avenues of approach to get to those people that need us, or alternate locations.
Until the River Crest guardsmen I spoke to tell me they're keeping a close eye on the water levels, they're identifying those problem spots, and they're also helping fill sandbags and deliver them to the people who live in those areas so they can protect their property. One major area of concern is the levee near the Hollow Bend National Wildlife Refuge, and although the Arkansas National Guard will not be leading the rescue operations, they are ready to help.
If that levee was to be breached, being that the citizens are having flooding near their homes or cannot evacuate, we are on standby for high water rescue and also evacuation to take them to the local community center.
There is no timeline for how long these crews will be in place, but they say they will not leave until they know everyone is safe.
It'll just be a round robin. We'll be moving back and forth, transporting the citizens until we're requested elsewhere.
Until then, they say they're happy to be helping a community that has been so kind to them.
They've given our soldiers a lot of support and have really welcomed us here, and we appreciate that, and we want them to know it.
Now, if you do live in an area that floods easily, whether that's here in North Little Rock or upstream in Dardanelle, emergency officials are asking that you leave your house before the water gets to it. I'm Stephanie Esquivel, live in North Little Rock, and we continue our team coverage across the river. That's where we find our very own Michael Aaron.
Yeah, Stephanie, here in front of the Junction Bridge. The river is expected to crest in Little Rock next Wednesday at 29 feet. Not a record level, but still a major flood. And tonight, city officials are stressing the need for vigilance and preparation. As the Arkansas River rises in Little Rock, sandbags are a hot commodity.
We just want to be prepared. Since we're a nonprofit, you know what I mean, we want to take care of all the resources and stuff that we have.
For 2 years, the Nehemiah House Drug and Alcohol Recovery Program has worked to create an automotive center in this space south of the airport. They've moved out everything they can ahead of possible flooding, and they're hoping these efforts salvage everything they can't.
All the hard work we put in, we wanted to try to salvage as much as we can.
The Little Rock Public Works Department is distributing sandbags at its facility on J.E. Davis Drive. People can also fill their own 24 hours a day at War Memorial Park.
We are in unprecedented times here in Arkansas, and the Arkansas River will reach a historic level.
City officials addressed the latest river forecast and areas of concern on Thursday afternoon. Among them, the downtown riverfront where runners and walkers take in the sight of rushing water. The Clinton Center, Two Rivers, and Big Dam pedestrian bridges are closed. Also closed Rebsamen Park and Golf Course, along with several nearby roads already inundated by floodwater. And on Friday morning, work on a levee will close Riverfront Drive from Cottondale Drive to Rebsamen Park Road.
We want to stress that safety is a top priority for the city, and we want to be proactive in the event that things get worse.
With high water, even higher spirits as people prepare for worst case scenario.
For this to just kind of happen today and seeing them band together like this, it's rewarding.
The City of Little Rock has already issued an emergency declaration, and emergency management staff asks anyone who sustains damage to make sure that they report that to the city, as that can help with obtaining federal dollars and just really understanding the scope of this situation. We have posted the phone number that you should call, along with the city's entire press conference from earlier today on THV11.com. We're live in Little Rock tonight. Michael Aaron, THV11 News.
You know what? It's not a bad night outside. Temperatures are cool, humidity levels are low, and there's no rain, no clouds, anything like that going on. So we've had a very quiet night shaping up. Here's a look at current temperatures. And again, I mentioned it's cool, but more importantly, this time of the year, the humidity can become a factor, but the humidity is still very low, mainly in the low 70s, pretty much area wide. Now tomorrow, we are going to warm up a little bit more, mainly in the middle to upper 80s, but still not a bad day. 63 the morning low, and again, that humidity not a factor tomorrow. 86 the afternoon high, and then Saturday and Sunday also look pretty good. I'll have that forecast coming up, and then we'll talk more about rain chances. All that and your flooding situation is coming up.
All right, Ed, Yale County Emergency Management sent out an alert to people living near the Hollow Bend National Wildlife Refuge tonight, saying the levee on Highway 155 has started leaking water. Officials say to consider an evacuation plan if you live in the surrounding area. Arkansas Department of Transportation crews have been working diligently for hours tonight on Highway 7 over in Yale County, laying sandbags and pumping water, doing everything they can to keep this busy thoroughfare open. The highway is a major path connecting Dardanelle and Russellville. RDOT says as of now, the highway will remain open through the night. There are signs everywhere along the river of the slow buildup as the water keeps rising. And that includes spots in Pulaski and Faulkner counties between Interstate 40 and the Arkansas River. THV 11's Rolly Hoyt went there today where flooding is really accelerating.
You can barely see the street sign down there on the corner. Can you see it?
A wet commute for Jana Green-Forbash and her farmhand Steve, from hands on the till to hands on the tiller this week along the flooded Arkansas.
The guys have been coming to work, so we've got some work going on. So
even with the floodwater,
work doesn't stop, yeah.
It's been like this for a day or so at the bottom of Old Sandy Road. The river is well past its banks, and a creek is pushed right over a levee at the Mayflower wastewater plant.
This is why you don't swim in floodwaters. Over there, a sewage treatment plant. Out there, a cow pasture. We all know what cows do in the field, and look at how close this water is to mixing.
The city has been keeping tabs on the plant. The power is off all along the area. We tried to check on Easterwood Point Road, but Entergy crews are trying to see if they could send more juice out there. Along Highway 365 at the county line, the water is going the wrong way. That's heading out of the river back into Lake Conway. Everywhere you look, signs that things are not normal.
My dad's been in business for over 45 years. Steve, the shop's been out here we moved since 95. This is probably the worst I've seen it.
But the cows are keeping quiet and the farm goes on. A better fate than a lot of people all along the river right now.
So we're really fortunate because I know a lot of people that have water in their homes and stuff like that. So we're lucky.
Barricades are going up all over the place on roads, big and small. Many have sheriff's deputies guarding them, but even if there's not one there, do not go down any closed roads.
You know, there's an old saying, nothing unites us better than sports. North Little Rock has some absolutely passionate high school fans in this state, almost better than anybody. But when it came time for the Charging Wildcats to come up clutch, they did not disappoint. Off of the bus, Spencer Sims loves a challenge.
Here. Oh, we ain't going nowhere.
Even on a break, he's trying to win.
If KD does not come back, the Raptors winning.
Today, though, he's nearly overmatched.
Hey, this is not easy.
Filling up sandbags is not exactly your normal summer day for a teenager.
Everybody was like, we're going to do what? And it's just such a confusing moment. It's like I said, it's first time.
This team is used to bringing home titles, but today it's all about saving homes.
You know, that kind of a slogan in there, one bag at a time, and that one bag is important to somebody and it could really help somebody. So that's kind of been their slogan.
Head coach Johnny Rice grew up right down the road in Rose City. His fellow classmate Sonia Irving has called this neighborhood home for decades.
The neighbors, we've all been there for, 30, 40 years, so we're more than just neighbors, we're family.
Irving and her family spent 11 hours filling up bags on Tuesday. Today, she's jubilant, knowing her teammates are here to help.
North Little Rock alumni, it does my heart good to see these young men out here working so hard to, help their community.
It truly is. It's a heartwarming feeling. Like, I'm glad Coach Rice did this because everybody was like, wow, this is a great opportunity.
And a big thanks to North Little Rock, but they are far from the only team helping their communities. The Conway football team providing help to those in Faulkner County. Also, the Valonia football team filling up sandbags as well. And back here in Little Rock, the Baptist Prep football team filling up sandbags as those communities come back and band together. Craig?
How about all those teams? How about that North Little Rock basketball team? That's amazing, Hayden. That North Little Rock team trying to prevent a fast break from Mother Nature or to block her best shot. How about those people who showed up at an elderly couple's home in Faulkner County last week? A couple they'd never met. The homeowners got emotional as they watched strangers sandbag their home, sweet home. How about that Catholic High team that put bags around the Miracle League field? Or Brenda Walden, who takes in pets owned by a woman escaping the flood? Or that flotilla of kayak rescuers in Fort Smith? The rivers are at historic levels, but so are the helpers, the generous, the caring. You know, you grow up in Arkansas, and even us city dwellers grow close to nature, its finery, its fury. It's why we understand, and why, as all these stories get told, there is not 1 ounce of self-pity. There is, however, a steely-eyed resolve to do what has to be done, and once the water is gone, we'll see what we have to do to come back. As the water threatens levees, ruins homes, sets new record levels, all of us know it's not sandbags that hold the water off, as much as it is all of us together, facing this latest threat together. There are more dramatic days ahead, more stories to come, and you watch. The higher the water gets, the deeper the caring for one another. We are better together. And to prove that, we are partnering with the Red Cross. Just go to tspv11.com/Red Cross or go to the 11 Listens Flood Zone section on our app to make a donation to flood relief efforts. We'll also be hosting an all-day phone bank on Monday where you can call in and make donations. We'll all be right back. TSV11 kicked off the 19th annual summer cereal drive this morning with our first ever Pack the Shack. We invited local businesses and viewers to drop off cereal boxes here at the studio. We received more than 11,000 boxes. Well, part of that a major check, a big part of it, $10,000 from AT&T. But this is just the beginning. Go to TSV11.com for a full list of cereal drive stops near you. Actually, I ought to say 11,005 because Ed brought in 5 boxes.
So you don't want these now?
Oh, we do now. Yeah,
you do?
I'm going to apply them to my first live broadcast when I start collecting. So those go to my total.
Well, no, they're my total. I'm contributing, and these are my 5. I thought I'd be able to fill it up to the top, but they took it all out by the time I got here. So this will be here in the morning. They won't go bad, so we'll keep the cereal here, see if we can just keep that as a reminder, right? Cornflakes, what do we got? Cornflakes, Honey Nut Happy O's, whatever those are, peanut butter, Cocoa Spears, Raisin Bran, and Frosted Shredded Wheat. What more, I mean, that's what you want. All right, so keep bringing it in. We're looking forward to this cereal drive as we go through the next, 6 weeks, I think. So it's going to be fun. All right, so I'm a little late to the party, but I'm starting the party over again. How about that? Let's look at it that way. Here's a look at the river flood stages again. This was updated around noon. Have not seen a recent update lately, and there's really, I don't think there's been a lot of change anyway, but we're still talking about record flood stages over the next several days, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, even into next week, June 6th, June 7th. We're talking about Pendleton and Pine Bluff, seeing some of the record flood stages there. 51 feet in Pine Bluff. Yeah, so major record flooding is expected there. Now, the other factor we're going to talk about is the warmth. We are headed into June, starting Saturday, and temperatures will reflect that. We'll see highs in the lower 90s over the next several days, and rain chances will be very small, but they'll be there. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Right now, the satellite shows mainly clear skies, a couple of clouds down across South Arkansas, mainly low cloudiness here, and that's really where that cloud cover will stay. We're not expecting any kind of problems overnight, no fog, anything like that, no storms. All that activity remains back across West Texas, the Concho Valley down toward the hill country, and that's really about it. So this is nice. This is a nice change of pace because the past several days we've had severe weather all around the periphery of this high pressure system, but we're not seeing that so much tonight. 72 degrees currently. The dew point is low at 58, so the air is dry. Feels good outside. Temperatures are mainly in the 70s, with lows tonight dropping into the low 60s and upper 50s. So that's not bad with a northwest wind. Tomorrow, that wind northwest to west, and we'll see highs back up into the middle 80s. So 63 overnight, not too bad at all. Very pleasant evening, very nice start to your Friday. 86 the high tomorrow, Craig, and here's your extended with that chance of rain not coming in until Monday and Tuesday. Back to you.
Today marks the start of what AAA calls the 100 deadliest days. Over the past 5 years, Nearly 3,500 people have been killed in crashes involving teen drivers between Memorial Day and Labor Day. But some automakers are introducing new technology to cut down on teen driver distractions and improve safety, as Kenneth Craig explains.
Dashcam video shows some of the mistakes teen drivers make, from texting and driving to dozing off. Mistakes that worry Tricia Morrow, the mother of a teen driver and a safety engineer for GM.
I am passionate about safety.
She helped design Chevy's teen driver technology and now its newest feature called Buckle to Drive. It becomes active when a teen driver enters the car with a pre-programmed fob key.
And when the driver pushes on the brake to shift, the shifter will be locked.
It won't move.
And it won't let you shift out of gear for 20 seconds or until you buckle your seatbelt. So it serves as a very strong reminder to the driver.
According to the CDC, teens have among the lowest rates of seatbelt use. And car crashes are the leading cause of deaths for teens. In 2016, 2,400 16 to 19-year-olds were killed. Other car makers also have technology that can be used for teens. Ford's MyKey system allows parents to limit vehicle speed and the audio system volume. And VW and Hyundai both have curfew alert systems that can send a text or email if the car is being driven after a specific time.
This will become de facto in cars in the future.
CNET's Brian Cooley says the technology is a no-brainer for car makers.
So it's easy for them to offer this at minimal cost, and they get a lot of kudos from buyers in the new market. And a lot of families will say, I want that car versus the one that I perceive as being less safe.
In testing, Chevy says its Buckle to Drive technology increased seatbelt use 16%, designed to give parents some peace of mind. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Next question. Can your diet produce false positives on a drug test? Well, next, we verify. Can the foods you're eating cause you to test positive for drugs like cocaine and meth? That's what one of you asked and what our Verify team has been looking into.
Viewer Nikki D sent us this email. She tested positive for cocaine on a drug test, but claims she didn't use the drug and wanted to know if any of these foods could be responsible. Nikki, we're going to broaden this question a bit and verify. Can any foods, drinks, or medications cause false positives on drug tests? Our sources, the FDA, the Bureau of Prisons, and multiple scientific studies. So the FDA themselves say certain foods, supplements, drinks, and meds can affect some drug tests. You might remember in the 90s, poppy seed bagels were found to give false opiate results. The Bureau of Prisons actually made employees and inmates sign an agreement not to eat them because false positives caused false disciplinary action. Well, in the case of poppy seeds, they test positive because they do contain opiates, both morphine and codeine, but the amount is low and gets lower during food processing. So what about other foods, drinks, and meds? Do they also cause false test results? Well, a 2008 study by the Mayo Clinic listed a lot of substances that could interfere with results. Benadryl is linked to false opiate results, while Wellbutrin, an antidepressant, can cause false amphetamine results, and coca leaf tea and certain anesthetics can actually cause false cocaine results. That's just to name a few. Sometimes they trigger false positives because they are similar substances. Wellbutrin, for instance, is in the amphetamine family, meaning we can verify certain foods and drugs can cause false positives on drug tests. Keep in mind though, our bodies are different, so these foods and meds will affect people differently. Bottom line, if you take a drug test and get a result you weren't expecting, check to see if you consumed any of these and see if you can retake the test. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Tomorrow, the road to Omaha begins for the Razorbacks with all eyes on this young man. We'll hear from freshman Connor Nolan and the Diamond Hogs coming up next.
And now, the THV 11 Sports Desk, driven by CRAIN Hyundai of Conway.
In any game, it's important to get off to a good start, but if we don't, we just need to stay calm and put together some good at-bats and score when we get an opportunity.
All right, the formula is very simple for Arkansas. 5 wins in the next 2 weeks, and they will be heading back to Omaha for the second straight year. First, though, to the task at hand. Razorbacks taking on Central Connecticut State tomorrow afternoon. Now, the biggest concern has to be the hitting at this point. Arkansas has lost 4 of 5 heading into this regional, scoring just 2 runs a game. So the good news, Hogs hit very well at home. They're 28-6 at Baum Walker Stadium this season. So the Razorbacks, they're feeling confident at the R&R. It's done them well.
We went through a little slump after we were one of the best offensive teams in the nation for a couple weeks there. And so then we went through a little slump to where we weren't hitting the long ball as much, and then we didn't know how to get back in the groove. So, but that happens in baseball.
So it's not really like we were struggling too much as we're playing really good teams with good pitching staffs, and just kind of, went through a little bit of a struggle there.
On the mound, we found out last night it'll be the freshman Connor Nolan. Now, Nolan's 2-4 record isn't impressive, but his 3.71 ERA is. Now, he may be inexperienced, but not really if you look at the numbers. Nolan, 68 innings this season. That is second on the team behind Isaiah Campbell.
Well, if we didn't think he could handle it, we wouldn't stick him out there. I think he can handle anything. He's pitched in front of 10 and 12,000 here against SEC teams and big games to sweep people or win a weekend series. And I think it's just another game to Connor as far as his mentality and his makeup.
I don't think I'll be nervous, just excited to get out there and play. I mean, it's just another game, and like we said, just preparing the same way and treat it the same way as another game.
Again, first pitch is at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It is on ESPN3 online. Nolan gets the start, and I will be live from Baum Walker Stadium with reaction from the ball game right here on THV 11. We had an unexpected announcement from the Razorback football team today. The Hogs adding a former head coach to their staff. Chad Morris announcing the addition of Turner Gill as the Executive Director of Student Athlete and Staff Development. Now, Gill is a former head coach at Buffalo and Kansas, plus won a national championship as the QB of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And finally, we found out also some game times for the Razorbacks. We got Portland State at 3 o'clock, followed by Ole Miss in week 2 at 6:30, and Colorado State back at Fayetteville at 3 o'clock. All of those games on the SEC Network. And if you want much more information on those ball games, plus full sound with Dave Van Horn and those Diamond Hogs, all you got to do, head to the website. It is thv11.com.
Another look at your forecast shows a beautiful looking Friday, partly cloudy, 86, and it's going to start pleasant as well, 63, low humidity. So, Craig, on your morning walk, you won't be sweating so much. You don't have to worry about your hair, so it's going to be a nice morning.
How about my afternoon wake up?
Your afternoon wake up, you have to worry about your hair.
Thank you for watching. Good night, y'all.
It's going to be hot.